Hello all great friends with visual impairments. Meet again with me, Sumbaji Putranto. In this video, we will learn about the highest common factor, or what we usually know as HCF.
Atau biasa kita kenal dengan FPB.
Okay friends, to study in this HCF material, we will use one of the traditional games commonly used in Indonesia, which is called dakon or also known as congklak.
Digunakan di Indonesia yang disebut dengan dakon atau juga biasa dikenal dengan congklak.
This dakon game is usually done by two people in pairs. But for learning HCF material, this dakon is only used by one student.
Dakon hanya digunakan oleh satu siswa.
Why in dakon the directions for writing the numbers face both directions? It because they are usually played in pairs.
Mainkan berpasangan. Oke, sahabat-sahabat.
Okay then, we will explain the parts of this dakon to support the process of learning mathematics for HCF.
Dakon ini untuk mendukung proses pembelajaran matematika untuk materi FPB.
First, at the top right and top left, we deliberately put a sign so that friends with visual impairments can position the dakon correctly.
Difabel netra dapat memposisikan posisi dakon dengan benar. Yang kedua, di bagian
Second, on the right and left, there are two containers containing pins and shells, which will be used later to show the position of the numbers that are the factors of the number to look for the HCF.
posisi bilangan yang menjadi faktor-faktor dari bilangan yang akan dicari FPB-nya.
Furthermore, in the middle, there are 14 containers which will later represent the numbers which are the factors of the number the HCF is looking for.
Representasi dari bilangan yang merupakan faktor-faktor dari bilangan yang dicari FPB-nya.
The sequence from the far left to the bottom left corner is the number 1. Friends with visual impairments can fill at the top. Then, move to the right, there is a hint that the container shows the number 1. Move right, container 2.
Petunjuk bahwa wadah itu menunjukkan bilangan 1, bergerak ke kanan, wadah 2, bergerak ke kanan seterusnya, sampai paling ujung bawah kita mendapatkan wadah ke-7.
So on, until the most bottom end, we get the 7th container. Then above it is container number 8. Move to the left of number 9 and so on, until the very top left. At the end, we will get container number 14. The HCF of two or more numbers is the largest integer that is divisible by the two or more numbers.
Adalah bilangan bulat terbesar yang habis membagi dua bilangan atau lebih tersebut.
Next, we will try to learn how to determine the HCF of two numbers. We start with the simplest example, the HCF of 4 and 6.
Dari contoh yang paling sederhana, FPB dari 4 dan 6. Yang pertama,
The first thing we have to do is we determine the factors of 4. All of our blind friends and viewers in general already know everything about how to determine the factors of a number. First, we determine the factor of 4.
dari suatu bilangan. Yang pertama, kita tentukan faktor dari 4. Kita ambil pin di wadah sebelah
We
kanan.
take the pin in the container on the right. We determine the factor of 4. 4 divided by 1. Is that possible? Of course, the result can be 4. So, we enter one pin in the first container. Then, the result of the division earlier is 4. So, we will insert the next pin into container number 4. Can 4 be divided by 2? Yes, the result is 2. So, we just need to insert a pin in the container that shows the number 2. So, we get the factors of 4 which are 1, 2, 4.
Kita memperoleh faktor dari 4 adalah 1, 2, dan 4. Selanjutnya kita ambil kerang di wadah sebelah kiri untuk menentukan faktor dari 6.
Next, let's take the shells in the container on the left to determine the factors of 6. Like the previous method, we first determine the factor of 6. 6 divided by 1, is it possible? You can. So the result is 6. We put the shells earlier in containers number 1 and number 6. Next, we determine whether 6 can be divided by 2. Yes. Then we put one shell in container number 2. What is the result of the division by 3? Then we put one shell in container number 3. Because in the next division number is by 3, why the container 3 is already filled by the shells? So we got all of the factors.
Faktor-faktornya sudah kita dapatkan semuanya.
So we can determine the factors of 6 are any 1, 2, 3, 6. What is the next step?
2, 3, dan 6.
So, we can determine the HCF by checking which container contains pin and shells in the same container.
Yang berisi pin dan kerang dalam satu wadah yang sama. Kita mulai dari wadah yang menunjukkan.
We start from the container that shows number 1. There are 2. In container number 2, there are 2. In the third container contains only one shell. The fourth container contains only one pin. The fifth container is empty, and in container number 6, only one shell. So we get the container which contain 2 things is number 1 and container number 2. Finally, we just need to determine which number is the largest between 1 and 2.
Dan wadah nomor 2.
Which one? We get the highest number, which is 2. So we can conclude that the highest common factor of 4 and 6 is 2.
Berapa teman-teman? Tepat sekali. Kita mendapatkan bilangan yang lebih besar adalah 2. Sehingga dapat kita simpulkan bahwa faktor persekutuan terbesar dari 4 dan 6 adalah 2.
In my opinion, you can practice more. For example, how to determine the HCF of 8 and 12? You can do it independently.
8 dan 12. Teman-teman bisa melakukannya secara mandiri. Demikian, semoga video kali ini.
Hopefully, this video can make learning math easier and more fun. See you in the next video.
Sampai bertemu di video selanjutnya.